Hey, what's going on everybody? It's Vault707. Now today I'm going to be featuring here on Forger's channel to bring you this week's guide. Now today we're going to be talking about the farming aspect of Rucoy Online. So to start right off with the guide, we're going to get into the explanation of farming itself, which for most may seem like a waste of time or stupid, but these guides are meant for everyone. Now there's always value in the guide for returning and older players because, well, farming is a huge aspect of MMORPGs if you've been in the scene for a while. Now farming in Rucoy is the act of killing mobs as fast as possible to further progress your character's base level or to gain gold through item drops, while also gaining massive progress. Now, while these two things could be considered two very different things, they do go hand in hand especially. Now, this guide specifically will be based on where you generally should be at with each level and what stats to make a fairly big difference a lot of the time. Now, this general guide is what would benefit you overall, but for the most part, your experience will likely vary, as well any other game would. So in farming, you always want to pick up every single drop and then sell it to the gear merchant in the bottom left corner and each down respectively. Now starting from level 1 till 5, you'll want to farm your level 1 rats coming right off your starting dock. Working your way up to level 5, you'll want to go from level 5 and grind up to level 3 rats until you hit about level 8. Now at which point you'll head yourself over to level 6 crows and start going from level 8, and you'll want to fight these crows until you reach level 12. Now I know this seems a little redundant, but bear with me here. After reaching level 12, you can head on over to the level 9 wolves and grind them until level 17. After the wolves, this is where we start to see our long stretches of enemies to be farmed, reaching level 17. You'll want to start fighting an assortment of goblins, worms, cobras, and scorpions until you reach the hefty level of 32. Now with your newly found strength of fighting the green and grass mobs, you're going to want to head down to the catacombs just south of the first town and find the level 25 mummies from here. We're going to want to grind all the way from level 32 until 40, which isn't as much of a big gap, so you don't have to spend so much time doing it. After we fight the mummies, we're going to head further into the catacombs to see the pharaohs, who are level 35. Now that will want to grind from level 40 until 55, a 15 level boost, to be perspective. Level 55 gives us enough room to be able to properly farm assassins just north of the town from level 55 all the way to level 70. Now while you're in this area, you're going to want to make sure you pick up at least one assassin key. It will be needed to getting to the other areas quicker. Now after hitting level 70, we upgrade to zombies until level 90, and unlike the prior assassins area, zombies area does not have a key needed for any access to any areas. Now getting up to 90, this is where we see the last sort of easy area that turns us from noob accounts into the real hard grinding legendary players you see on the forums. The start of 90 is when we want to find skeletons and skeleton warriors that'll keep us busy for a bit of time until the level of 120. Now upon reaching 120, this is where we find ourselves at vampires. You know, the scary motherfuckers in that horrible movie Morbius. This brings a return to the keys, which are quite easily acquired actually. Vampires are also our first area, where it goes on to last a variety of very feasible source for XP and gold regardless of level, because of the vampires grinding area, which increases drop rates, but also damage taken. Working from here, grinding up becomes very dependent on your stats, but that also becomes very clear after this point where you need to be. This is where the needed level guide ends, now moving into the tips. I mean, if you've waited this long, I assure you've earned the tips at this point. But good job! Some good things to have while farming are a nose ring, which allows you to hold all your respective keys in one item slot. At the time of recording, the nose ring goes for about 2.5 million gold, so while you have as many slots for extra loot while on a farming run, don't rush it to buy it by any means necessary. Including robbing people, but don't tell anyone you heard that from me. Turn scrolls allow you to return from the teleport from the last place you use a town scroll, which can be very useful if you ever go and drop off tons of loot to your bank account to be sold, because then you could be back to your grinding within seconds. However, this does cost 2 diamonds per scroll, and which are about 36,000 gold at the time of recording, which is only worth it if you're farming drows or up. Now, a bag. Your bag space will make the difference between bringing back a couple 100,000 gold or millions of gold back to town after your grinding run. Now, similar to the nose ring, it is a very worthwhile investment that will make a world of difference. However, upgrading your bag should also not be rushed for any newer players, so save this for once you've been in it for a while. Swift boots. Now these are a personal favorite of mine, and these are items that will mostly benefit distance players more than anyone else because we're too cowardly to get up in melee. Now for anyone else adding tons of speed to your character, it makes the running and gunning type playstyle much more effective. Now, Swift boots are incredibly expensive, and I would not advise buying them until at least level 130. Although, honestly, 350 would probably be a lot better, honestly. Now, this has been a nice little guide that has hopefully helped you all out. You know, honestly, I'm glad that Forger asked me to come here because this was fun. I enjoyed the game, and I hope you all enjoyed the game as well, despite the excessive grinding that comes with it. If you want to follow me on TikTok or YouTube, I go under Vault707, and I hope to see you all there. Thank you for having me on the channel.